Looks like everyone's here and we're all settled. So let's go ahead and get started. So take a comfortable seat. Roll the shoulders up and away from the ears. Keeping the chest nice and lifted. We'll drop the nose just a little bit down toward the floor. I'm going to try and keep the eyes soft but open. And starting to tune into the peripheral vision. Can you see your surroundings in the room? Just a nice soft gaze, not focusing on anything. Just kind of sensing the room around you, to the left, to the right. And then drawing the awareness to the breath and starting to deepen out, deepen and lengthen the breath. Trying to draw the breath down into the belly and also along the rib cage, like all the way around the sides and the back and the front of the body. So an expansive inhale. But at any time of keeping the eyes slightly open just doesn't help you settle today, you can close the eyes. Tuning in to the other senses in the body. Seeing what sounds come to your ears, what your sense of touch can feel. And then starting to drop in into a little more of those subtle sensations, subtle energies. You feel vibration in the body or around you. Do you sense any other energies within the body, within your space? Really staying with your body, staying here, listening to what the body is telling you. Maybe you come up with an intention for your practice. Is there something that needs to change, or that you would like to change over the course of your practice? Kind of getting a sense for where would you like to go? And then coming back to the awareness of the breath. On your next inhale, slowly open the eyes, one back into space. All right, so let's do this one. Let's take the nose, let's turn left and right, like you're saying no. I'm just gonna look over one shoulder and the other. Try to keep the shoulders soft. Seeing where that end point is. Breath flow. I'm gonna come back to center. Where's the yes? So you're gonna look up and then down. I'm really just trying to see again, where's the end point? Where's the range of motion? So when you look up toward the ceiling in the front of the neck stretch, and when you look down toward the floor, curl in. Yeah, not dropping the shoulders, trying to keep them still, just really opening the neck. And then the next time that your nose is down toward the floor, I'm gonna pause there. And now I'm gonna go rocks in a half circle from one side to the other. It's like you're drawing a half circle with your nose. And then just like you were filling up a basin that's overfilling with water, so at some point of one of these rotations, we're going to rotate it all the way around to the other side. You might come back to rocking back and forth in front, and maybe splashing over, going all the way around the other side in a circle. Making sure if you go all the way around that you're doing so evenly. You've done the same number of rotations on each side. We're going to work our way back to center, and then we can lift the head once you're there. All right, let's interlace the fingers. We'll press the hands forward, elbows straight. Let's take the hands up and over the head, pushing the ceiling away from the floor. And we'll bring the hands back down, change the interlace of the fingers so the other pinky is on the bottom. And then we'll push the hands forward and once again up and over the head. Bring the hands back down. Let's take the hands together at the wrist and have your fingers pointed out to the side and about shoulder height here. So try and point your fingers out. So just the wrists come together. Keeping your wrists together, you're going to draw the hands in and flip and turn the palms forward, straighten your elbows. Try to keep them level with your shoulders. Yeah, so straighten out the elbows, fingers toward the floor. There we go. And now I'm going to draw back, draw the hands in towards you. Keep your wrists together and point the hands out to the fingers out to the side. Straightening your elbows. Good. We'll try that again. We'll draw the hands in. Wrists stay together, opening the palms, fingers toward the floor, elbows still. Good. Shoulders still Hands and shoulders level. I'm going to bring the hands in and switch again, bringing the fingers out. Breathing here, a couple more. Draw the hands in and forward. Try to keep the arms level with the floor. And then out, fingers out. Breathing. Let's do one more. Forward here, fingers toward the floor. And then fingers out to the side. All right, go ahead and release. Let's take a turn here toward the left. We're going to twist around the spine. And we'll inhale back through center and exhale other side. And inhale back to center. All right, let's come on into hands and knees. So the hands are under the shoulders, knees are under the hips, and feet are hip distance apart. And then from here, let's come into cat-cow. So on your inhale, tailbone up and chest and head lift, belly drops toward the floor. Exhaling, arch the back into cat pose. And really trying to find your edges here, find the end points to the posture. Can you maybe exaggerate a little bit? See if you can, if you were showing this pose to someone, you know, can you overemphasize that, that motion? Really staying aware with your breath, letting the breath flow, staying present. And the next time that you come into cat pose with the arched back, we're going to take the hips to the heels in a prayer pose. You're going to reach through the fingertips. You can walk your hands a little bit forward, elbows straight and off the floor. And you could push your hands down into the floor, like you're trying to make hand prints into your floor. And then keep your hips back by your feet. I'm going to walk both hands toward the right. And you can keep walking until you feel that stretch on the left side of the body. The head's still down, keeping the hips back. Just really breathing, staying with your body, staying with your breath. then we'll walk the hands back through center, still keeping your hips back. I'm going to go over to the other side. So walking both hands toward the left, make the side stretch on the right. Head still down. Then we'll bring the hands back to center. And then we'll lift the hips to come back up into hands and knees pose. From here, we're going to take the hands forward just a bit, still shoulder width apart, fingers spread. Bring your hips in line with your shoulders and your knees, bringing the hips forward, half plank pose. So shoulders are now over the arms, over your hands. Yeah, if you need to make any spacing between your knees and your hands to get there, you can. Half plank, broad across the collarbone, and draw the shoulder blades down away from the ears, back down towards your knees. Actively pushing into your hands. You're going to tuck your toes underneath, both toes tuck under. Pull the abdominals in and then lift your knees. Full plank pose. Press through your heels. Keep the hips down. Press through your heels. Few breaths here. Reach to the top of the head. From heels to top of the head. Breathing. Strong in the arms. Abdominals supporting. And then lower the knees back down. Half plank pose. Still pushing into the hands. Strong arms. Not sinking in the hips, not pulling the hips back. Press here. And then tuck those toes, lift those knees, full plank pose. Press back through your heels. Reach to the top of the head, actively pushing in the hands, breathing, abdominals supporting. And then we'll bring the knees back down, half plank pose. Elbows in close to the body, bend the elbows lower all the way down to the floor on your belly. Tops the feet down, tailbone down, cobra pose. Shoulders down the back, elbows in. Lift the head and the chest. You might look up toward the ceiling. So really keeping that tailbone down. Shoulders back, try to lighten the load on your hands. See if you're even able to pick your hands off the floor. So maybe just lifting them up a little bit. Tailbone down and lengthen the spine. So really reaching to the top of the head. If the hands are up, we'll bring them back down to the floor. Take a rest here. Drop the head, chest down to the floor. Take a breath into your back. I'm going to slide the hands to that waist level, palms still down, tailbone down here, and then lift head and chest and push into your hands, seal pose. So if you can, straighten the arms, open the front of the body. You might look up toward the ceiling again, shoulders down away from the ears. Feel that stretch along the belly, in the front of the body. Now adjust your right foot while you're in this up or this heel pose. I'm going to push your toes, your tops of your foot, of your right foot. Push your toes down into the floor and see if you can lift your right knee, just the right side. And it'll just come up a little bit, just a couple of inches off of the mat. Notice what you have to do in the back in order to do that, abdominals. Now I'm going to set that side down. Let's try the other side. So the left foot, push down into the floor, the tops of your foot, top of your foot on the floor. Try to lift the knee just a little bit. And then we'll set that side down. Now, if you want to try coming into upward dog, both feet, tops of the feet down, lift both knees. It's an option, you could keep your knees down. All right, looks like we're getting tired. If you've had enough, let's go ahead and lower all the way down to the floor now. All the way down onto the belly. Gonna walk your hands back up to your shoulder level. Push up into half plank pose. And then back into a prayer pose. Hips to heels. Breathing here, breathe into your back. On inhale, we'll come on back up. Let's walk those hands forward. And this time, tuck your toes and come on up into a downward facing dog. So in your down dog, remember to try to spread the weight across your whole hand, across your fingers and the palm of your hand. So you're not so much in the heel of the hand. Feet are hip distance apart, outside edges parallel, and the heels are starting to work their way toward the floor. Breathing here, shoulders are broad and wide. Lots of space for the head, lots of space for the neck. And let's take that right foot forward up by your hands. High lunge runner stretch. Really try to get the foot way up there. Try to bring your back heel down to the mat if you can, but don't twist the hips to get there. So remember, sagittal plane, this is the sagittal plane pose. Hips are square to what's in front. Strong in the legs, let's come on up to warrior one. Front knee bends right over that ankle. Outer spiral on the front side. Back leg straight as you can. Back heel down if you can. If you need the foot up, that's okay too. Tailbone down, chest lifts, arms up here. Here, Dandasana one, warrior one. Balance the weight between the 2 feet. So really pushing in to the foot that feels lighter. From here, I'm going to try to bend your back knee and just start to drop the knee toward the floor. I'm just going to hold here and then straighten that back leg. So a little bit of dropping it down. Nice and strong legs. Try that again. Slightly bend your back knee, starting to drop it down. Couple of breaths of holding and then lift. Now, if your back heel has to come up to do that, that's okay. And one more, we're going to bring that back knee down toward the floor. And then this time, take your left hand and drop it down toward that knee. So we're going to open the front of the body here. Just the left arm, keep your right hand up. Turn your palm of your right hand up toward the ceiling. Breathing, back knee slightly bent. Reach through the right hand. Breathing. Good, and release. You can straighten your back leg. Bring the other hand back up for a full warrior one. And then on an exhale, downward facing dog. Place the hands, big step back. We'll do a little vinyasa here. On an inhale, come forward into either plank pose or half plank with your knees down. So your choice, knees up, knees down. On an exhale, elbows in, lower down to the floor. And then again, your choice, cobra pose, seal pose, or upward facing dog. Lift the head and the chest. On an exhale, you come back down to the floor, abdominals, and push up to half plank, and then back to a downward facing dog. Then I come to the other side, so we'll take that left foot forward now. Up by your front foot, high lunge, runner stretch. Try to get your weight balance between your 2 feet, strong in your core, and then come on up for warrior one on this side. So again, hips are square. Shoulders over the hips, arms up. Warrior one. We're going to try to bend your back knee, just starting to drop it down toward the floor. It doesn't matter how low you go, just take a couple of breaths there. And then we'll straighten that leg again. Front knee still bent. And then we'll bend the back knee, starting to drop it toward the floor. Couple of breaths here. And then we'll straighten that leg. And then one more time, bending your back knee, this time holding the knee bent. We're going to take the right hand down toward that bent knee, and left hand stays up and over your head, palm turns toward the ceiling, reaching into your left hand. A little bit of a back bend, side back bend here. Holding, breathing. And then we'll release back into warrior one, full posture. And downward facing dog, nice big step back. Inhale into either plank pose or half plank pose. Exhale down to the floor, reach back through your feet. Inhale, cobra pose, seal pose, or upward facing dog. Exhale back down to the floor, push up to half plank pose, and then back to a downward facing dog. And then we'll walk the feet and hands toward each other for Uttanasana, standing forward bend. Active legs lifting the tailbone up toward the ceiling. Upper body softens over the strength of the legs. Notice your balance of your weight across the feet. Notice heel toes and left and right sides of your feet. You want to use your whole foot, both feet. So balance between those 4 corners of the feet. And then you can take your hands around your legs and start to pull with your arms, starting to draw your nose in closer toward your knees, toward your legs, but also lengthening. So try to get your head to reach your feet. So you want to be nice and long here. Again, lift the tailbone up toward the ceiling. And then the upper body can fold over that, squeezing in. then we'll release the hands. We'll take a slight bend of the knees and abdominals in. We'll come on up to standing. Tadasana, mountain pose. Try to find your balancing here, standing on 2 feet, drawing into your core. Find that heel toe, left, right sides of the feet. You can lift and spread your toes. Keeping that super tall posture, we'll bring the hands up and over the head. Palms together, cross the thumbs and tip to the right, crescent pose. Extending the whole left side of the body. Inhale back up through center and exhale other side, crescent pose. Come on back to center. Keep the hands over your head, but turn your palms up toward the ceiling. So fingertips start coming back towards you. Again, find your center point. Notice if you start to come into a back bend. Just trying to find where's the center here. You're going to come onto your toes and then try to lift the heels off of the mat. So you're going to lift up. See if you can put your hands, the palms of your hands on the ceiling. So try to lift the heels, balance on the toes. You're lifting straight up toward the ceiling. Nice and controlled. Reaching, breathing. Good, and we'll lower the heels back down and then release the arms down. Good. Let's work our way into tree pose. Balancing posture. I'm going to stand on the right foot. So if you need to be near a piece of furniture or a wall, please do that. Remember, the whole thing about standing or these balancing poses, keep your hips level, keep your shoulders right over your hips. Anytime your torso starts to bend or your hips start to shift, you're going to have balancing issues. So try to root into that right foot, and you'll notice your weight shifts over just slightly, so you can try it, so you keep those hips level. Hips come over slightly, they don't come up. So keeping the hips level, go ahead and lift that left foot. You start by just bending the knee. Notice when you do that, if your hip comes up, keep it down. And then take the knee out to the side. So now a bunch of options. You could keep your toe on the floor. You could bring your foot to the shin or above the knee to the inner thigh. Just keep that outer hip down. Hips are level with the floor. Shoulders are stacking and hands anywhere you'd like. Hips, heart, over your head, together. Gaze is soft, breath is flowing. You are a tree. Just finding your edge. Where is your edge, your challenge point today? Can you stay present with that? And we're going to come on out with control. All right. Finding your second side, new experience. Find that left leg, toning the muscles there, just shifting the hips over, but still keeping them level. Lifting the right knee now. Right knee comes out to the side. And then any version of tree pose on this side. Again, just finding where your challenge for today is. It might be different than yesterday. Don't hold the breath. Don't squint the eyes. Eyes and face are soft. It's really staying with your body, with your breath. All those little micro movements. And then we'll come on out with control on that side. All right. Let's come on your mat and take your feet wide. Bring the camera down. Feet wide. Let's do this one first. Toes out, heels in. Toes out, heels in. So your knees are going to be coming over your ankles, so over your feet. Now, tailbone goes down between the feet. So it's not tucking in, pointing forward, and it's not poking backward, right? Straight down between your feet. I'm going to bend the knees and take the legs out wide. Tailbone straight down. Now, shoulders stack on top of the hips. Strong legs, strong feet. If you're okay here, we'll take the arms straight out. And then keeping your elbows level with the floor, we'll bend the elbows here. And I have to close my hands because my camera thinks that I'm giving it signals, but you can keep your hands open if you'd like. This is goddess pose. If you want more, just come down a little lower. Breathing here. I'm going to take the hands out now, pushing away. You bring the hands into center, down toward the belly region, and like you're holding a little ball here. And take the hands back behind. And then sweeping forward, fingers come up. Sweep back. One more coming forward here, fingertips come up, come back to the center of the heart, and out to the side. Keep those knees bent. Breathing. And then back, center, pause here. Cushion the feet. Bring the hands to the hips now, and now turn your feet the opposite way. Heels out, toes in. Make sure you've got a good surface underneath of your feet. They're not going to slide. So toes in, heels out, heels pigeon toe. Both legs straight. Toning in the muscles here, we're going to drop down forward, wide legs, standing forward bend. You can release your hands to the floor. If you can't touch the floor, you can use a block here. Now, if you lost your control in your legs once your hands hit something solid, then retone, lift the tailbone up toward the ceiling, toning the muscles of the legs, supporting with your legs. Upper body is an accessory here. If you can touch the floor, you could start bending your elbows and maybe bringing the head toward the floor. Again, it's just an option. You may also take your hands onto your feet or your ankles and pull to get your head a little lower. But the legs are your strength, lifting that tailbone up, keeping the weight across the whole sole of the foot. So big toe mound, little toe mound, evenly pushing down on the floor. And then from here, we're going to bring your hands back under your nose if your elbows had bent. We're going to bend just the right knee and drop down on that side. So just the right knee, bending here. And then we're going to switch and go to the other side. Bend just your left knee, straightening out your right knee. One more on each side here, going back over to the right. And then back over to the left. Coming back to center. Now you can walk your feet, heel toe your feet toward each other, coming back into an Uttanasana, regular standing forward bend. And then bend your knees, and we're going to come down to sit on the mat. And actually, let's come right onto your back. So we're going to come all the way down. If you have a strap, just have it close by if you have one available. So let's gonna start by lying on your back, knees bent, just feeling the breath in the belly. So we'll try and breathe into the belly. And then walking your feet in just a little bit toward the hips. And then take your hands down by your hips, drop your shoulders, the tops of your shoulders down toward the floor. We're gonna come into bridge pose. So tops the shoulders down, push into your feet and lift the hips straight up toward the ceiling. So the higher you go, the more you push into the feet and the more you push the tops of the shoulders down. The chest will start to come toward the chin. Keep looking up toward the ceiling. Breathing here. So here you're breathing uphill into the belly. See if you can get that breath really deep into the lungs. And then we'll lower the hips back down to the floor. I'm going to grab a hold of your strap and we're going to lasso the right foot in the strap. So we're going to kick that foot up toward the ceiling. And straighten out the right knee. And if your strap is long enough, you could bring your elbows back down to the floor, but if they don't reach, that's okay. If you feel okay here, you could lengthen out your left leg long on the floor. And starting to pull that right foot over your head. So really starting to get a hamstring stretch here. And you can keep with that deep breathing, where you belly breathing, where you're drawing the breath all the way into the belly. Just letting the face soften, letting the muscles open up. And then holding both straps with the right hand and somewhat as close to the foot as you can get. So you're going to reach your hand up as close to that foot as you can, and then open out to the right. So I'm going to drop that right leg straight out to the right. Now, if your left hip rolls off of the floor, push it back down. Try to keep the hips level on the floor. Root the whole left side of the body down, particularly that left thigh, pushing it down into the mat. Still staying with that deep belly breathing. Just noticing in this posture if the breath is any different. On the inhale, we'll bring that foot back up toward the ceiling. We're going to switch hold the strap with your left hand, so you're crisscrossing. Same foot, keep the same foot in the strap. We're just holding with the opposite hand. And now we're going to take that right leg across to the left, all the way over toward the floor. So you keep going. You're going to roll into your outer left hip now. So the hips will stack as you keep rolling. And then the upper body moves in the opposite direction. So that right shoulder drops down toward the floor. And if your hand came closer to your foot on your strap, if your left hand moves closer, you might start to pull that right foot up towards your shoulder level. Still finding that belly breath. Seeing, see if you can find maybe also the back of the body, breathing there. Then on an inhale, we'll come back up to the center, that foot up toward the ceiling. We're going to lift the left leg and slip the left foot into the strap, releasing your right foot down. So switching sides. You can extend that right leg long, Starting to pull the left foot now over your head. Just keep coming back to that belly breathing. Face is soft, eyes are soft. Just letting the body open up, being patient, being present. And then holding both straps in the left hand, I'm going to bring that left hand as close to your foot as you can get it. And then we'll drop the left leg straight out to the left side. Keep the right side down. So right thigh heavy toward the floor, whole right side coming down. Again, just exploring belly breath. Letting the rest of the body soften. Anything that's not working, just let it relax. And then we'll bring that foot back up to center. I'm going to cross to hold the strap with the right hand. Again, as close to the foot as you can. And then you're going to roll all the way over to the right side and drop that foot down. So you're on your outer right hip. Open the upper body to the other side, dropping your left shoulder down. Just breathing into the twist, breathing into the back. Again, softening, trying to surrender or give in here to what the posture is giving you. And then on inhale, I'm going to come on back to center. Now you can release that foot. I'm going to bring both feet down to the mat. Knees bent, feet on the floor. We'll take the feet about mat width apart or a little bit wider. And the arms out to the side of the body. I'm going to drop the knees from one side and then the other. So just massaging across the sacrum bone. Releasing the back, maybe the lower sides of the body. And from here, we'll work our way into Shavasana, corpse pose. You can lengthen out legs. Hands down by the sides, either palms up or palms down, your choice. Just letting the whole body relax. Allow the breath to deepen. And movement to return to the body. As you're ready, make your way to a seated position. Hands here at the heart. Give yourself credit for showing up, for doing your practice today. And I thank you for sharing that experience with me and the others on the call. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Take care of yourself, sleep well, and I'll see you next time. Namaste.
Namaste.